Hello and welcome to the ESL Pro League desk once again. I'm Alex Machine Richardson and I'm joined by Devilwalk and Vendetta. I was just, in my mind I was like, did I just call it? Oh, I got it right, ESL Pro League. Occasionally I'll just look behind me and be like, yep, okay, ESL Pro League. Either way though, welcome to the desk and I've already introduced myself. It's time to once again turn our attention to game one of what seems to be a bit of an ultimate test for these guys. NaVi breezing through Mirage as they did previously. Let's not forget these teams have already played once and that was just yesterday. 16-2 was the previous result, now 16-4. So two extra rounds for Dignitas, but I mean, I think it's fair to say that you guys don't have too much to say about this one. Just business as usual, Halvor.
Yeah, business as usual. We expected NaVi to pick up Mirage. They did so in a very convincing fashion. I guess the biggest takeaway on Dignitas' end is, as you said, they picked up 2 more rounds, which is, you know, better than what they did yesterday, and the fact that even though they lost heavily, it felt like they were kind of aware of the situation. They're not to Mirage, so they didn't get down on themselves. I was listening to the POV stream with Dupree and Sipnix, and they didn't start jabbering at each other, taking shots, or getting into huge arguments. It was mainly, you know, the normal amount of upset because you're losing a game, and that's not fun, but it still felt like they were actually quite ready to go on to the next maps, so that's a good sign for Dignitas.
I actually want to take this this opportunity while we have this time, and we were having an interesting discussion about communication. With there being a little less to say about the previous match, we can actually just quickly talk a little bit about communication and make some points about that, because there's been this interesting debate, and with the POV streams that are available for this broadcast, you have an ability, especially the Danish listeners, to listen into the Copenhagen comms, and there's a stark contrast between what those guys were saying to each other and what Dignitas were saying to each other. Could you maybe shed some light on that, Jonathan and Halvor?
Well, I think even Dignitas did this, where they basically said information like multiple times, basically, like free B, free B, free B, free B, you know, keep saying it. And it's actually very, very counterintuitive, because eventually you have less time to actually hear in-game, because you usually have like your teammates pretty loud, and like especially in a stressful situation, it's just everyone will be super stressed. It's better to just take it to a calm level and you say free B, and if someone doesn't hear you, then that's, you know, their problem for not listening. If you just say it one time, keep the team speak calm, it actually calms everyone down, and you'll eventually, you know, like be more calm. If you talk calm, you know, it will influence each other. You know, it's like whining will influence people negatively, and you know, being positive will influence others as well. So people will get more stressed from, you know, call-outs like that. And
I mean, do you think that plays a part in it, Halvor? Do you think it's maybe an overlooked aspect of this, of esports, of competitive gaming, that the communication that sometimes that goes unnoticed?
Yeah, absolutely, because it's such a hard thing to keep a track of, especially when you're watching from home, and especially when there's not PoE streams available. You have actually no idea what's going on within the team, and whenever you see someone rushing through smoke, for instance, they could have gotten information prior to that smoke going down. Another teammate says, oh, I'm 100% sure that he's on the left corner. So the guy runs in, checks the left corner, even though you've seen, you know, on GoTV and through X-rays that he's on the right side of the corner. And you get those kind of weird moments, and you can't really explain why. A lot of times that could be down to communication, things that we actually don't have the possibility to hear. So that's a bit unfortunate.
We saw an example of that. We were watching just recently we were watching that JW clip of whatever it was, and you just gave us the insight. You were saying, actually, the reason he got that smoke shot was because Flusher was watching the death cam and told him when to take the shot. Like there's intricacies to communication that sometimes go over the audience's head. But anyway, I think we do need to turn our attention to Cobble, just so we can stay on track and stay on time. So let's just touch on that for a little bit. The fact that, of course, this map's been played before. Dignitas did best NaVi on it, and I mean, they've had some time to address this, but how do you see Cobble shaping up, Jonathan?
I actually still believe it will be kind of like a tight map. Like both will get like 2-figure numbers in score, but I see it actually going NaVi's way this time, because I think they could readjust the way they were playing from last time and actually make a big difference, whilst Dignitas kind of have to stick with the same game plan and adjust mid-game, and I'm a bit worried if they do have the experience to change up their game plan mid-game. So that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Yeah, and Halvor, do you agree that this kind of change of a lineup of MSL's presence not ready for the adaptation?
I actually think that's going to be perfectly fine, because if you have to adapt, you kind of have to take that free style of playing, and at that point, you just kind of have to base things off of a bit more individual skill than what you might have done before. So I don't think that's going to be a huge issue for them. But again, playing from behind, in a sense, as NaVi are, I think that's the advantageous coming in here, because, well, they actually have the opportunity to correct their mistakes. And as Jonathan said, Dignitas pretty much have to go with what they did yesterday, because that worked. So there's, you don't change a winning team. And if it doesn't work, then they have to adapt and hope for the best. And I'm actually pretty confident in MSL's ability to actually get his guys to do what he tells them to do and what he believes is the correct adaptation.
So put a name on it. You're looking towards NaVi, and you feeling more Dignitas?
I'm going to give Dignitas the benefit of that for Cobblestone.
Okay, so the desk is split. It's time now to find out who is going to prevail in this one. I'd like to see some competition on the desk, and it's once again time for your casters, Semler and D-Man.
Desk. Thank you very much, Machine and guys. And I quite agree, they need to reset their mind, go into Cobblestone. It was interesting actually hearing about the comms discussions, talking about 3B. We were just discussing it, actually, strangely enough. We were like, it triggered a conversation straight away. You were obviously on about NIP's comms. You listened to the same with, obviously, Fnatic as well. Yeah. The Devilwalk's talking about. And it's just, we were wondering whether it was down to just simply being Swedish or,
That's my theory. That's my
English
theory.
people, English teams, they're not going to be keeping it clear like that. That doesn't happen.
Well, that's the thing. You listen, English teams, but also you listen to like Cloud9, and it's utter chaos.
Yeah.
Utter chaos when you listen to their comms. And that's like North American style of calling and just, conveying information. It's just complete chaos. But then you listen to NiP, and it's this very, after living in Sweden for 3 years, right? Now I'm so used to being surrounded by just, calm, cool, don't show so much emotion, right? And so NiP, they bring that into their comms. Fnatic, they bring that into their comms. It's just, always the same tone, never really rising or falling. And if it does rise, then Forrest steps in. He's like, calm down, guys. And all of a sudden, team comes back down, deep breath, and then they close out this like clutch situation where Forrest is just like, calm down because this is a clutch, right?
Yeah, just keep it calm.
It's
but one thing we can tell you, because obviously Anders was also listening in, we've got a Dane in the house to keep us informed, and he's just saying it's like night and day already listening to Dignitas compared to Copenhagen Wolves. They were very much on point, very clear. And actually, they felt, even at maybe a 10-5, 11-4, it's like, okay, it's all right. We get to CT side. We know how strong this can be for CT side. They actually felt they could have made a bigger impact in that one, but they weren't arguing with each other. They were just like, okay, I need support. I couldn't get there in time. Okay, that's fine. They're just accepting of the situation. So I think they've very much got their heads very much set into this next game.
See, D-Man, there's a life lesson to be learned here. It's all about trust. It's all about trusting your teammate, trusting in yourself.
But we say this, there's a 16-year-old kid on this team.
Who's a monster.
Yeah. And you're like,
I gotta say.
I don't know about you as a 16-year-old kid. Me as a 16-year-old kid, I wasn't that calm. There's no way I was that calm.
That's the thing I'm saying. It's a Scandinavian thing.
It was a long time
really
ago,
is.
I'll give you that. But
well, I won't go into Finland because I guess Finlands don't like to be called Scandinavia because, okay, whatever. But like Alu fitting in with NiP, right? That's the thing. He keeps that same level. I mean, Dignitas as well. They're just focused. But that's actually one of the big factors that goes into Kjærby and why he's drawing so much attention is just the fact that he is able to just maintain his cool in all of these high-pressure situations. He opened up a key round on Mirage for his team by getting 2 frags that allowed them to get onto the A site. If you're nervous, you're not going to be able to do that. But the fact that he keeps his cool and shows such a level of maturity for his age, that's why all of a sudden everybody's like, whoa, keep your eye on this guy.
It's not only level of maturity in online play, it's offline play. So often we'll see these young talents that will come through and maybe online they are magical, but you get them in this offline environment, they're away from their bedroom. They're in a completely different setup. They're in chairs, desks, monitors. They're not used to resolutions. Maybe they haven't got the drivers set. I don't know, but it's coming to this, and he's stepped up once again, and he has done for the last few weeks. All the events he's been building up to. He's already a very experienced player.
No, certainly. And he showed that at Copenhagen Games as well, like just having some sick performances there on that LAN. This LAN, he's had his moments as well. I mean, it really is fun to watch Dignitas because they do seem to be developing into this very close-knit unit. And so, perhaps the trust is there, D-Man.
And that's something that also is a little scary because we know what Danish teams can be like, and it is a close-knit unit.
I'm thinking that in the back of my head, right?
Can it stick to being a close-knit unit? Can they build on that one?
Wait, how many days has it been?
That's down to Odie, I feel. I think where that's maybe a problem for him at Dignitas, the owner.
Man.
But they are a team that is building well, and this is definitely a team that's matured a lot, even since the Katowice qualifiers. You know, they didn't get there. A lot of teams maybe would have just been disheartened, maybe changed all sorts of things, but, you know, they've just built on that.
No, they have. I mean, well, the one change, I suppose, that was made was Fetish.
Yeah.
And Fetish being removed from the lineup, they felt like they needed something more out of their leader, and they decided to go with MSL. And since MSL has been incorporated into the team, we've seen better T rounds, which is exactly what Dignitas were looking for. They had a strong CT side, but they still weren't able to develop on their T half and get the rounds necessary to get the win. MSL has come in and actually had a positive impact on the team, and they've already shaped up to have a pretty solid Inferno, T side and CT side, just because he's actually got them to play to that style, that calm style, get control of situations and hold angles, play smart. We saw a bit more aggression coming out of them on Mirage as well. But, we had this discussion outside actually with 3D Max, whereas, 3D Max felt like, well, they should have slowed down a little bit. But then also some of those quick rounds actually caught NaVi off guard. And so it's always this decision, when do you go fast, when do you go slow? And it seems like MSL is still trying to figure that out with this team.
Well, of course, next map is on your screens there, Cobblestone. This is going to be Dignitas' map choice, so you would assume they have something in plan for NaVi. NaVi, who have been on the back end of a beating on this map a couple of times, and obviously Dignitas yesterday were a team that beat them, but I'm thinking back to the likes of Fnatic at Katowice. That was a destruction derby from, that was just an Olafmeister show more than anything, but
that whole tournament was an Olafmeister show.
That's actually very true. That's very true. It's a kind of a Tech9 show as well, but we've seen this map already today. It was 3D Max that played on it against Copenhagen Wolves in the previous matchup. And actually, it turned out to be T-sided in that game. It is one of the maps that's been ever-evolving. Obviously, a lot of changes came through on this map. There's probably been 3-4 additions over the last few patches. No changes in the last patch, by the way. And it is a map that seems to be becoming more popular. Even looking at the likes of Get Right's AMA the other day, he says this is actually his favorite map now, which is an interesting one. Yeah, which is a bit wild, but
we're talking Get Right also, like the lurker extraordinaire, right?
Well, it's a big open map. It's perfect for it.
He's just like, a playground. I love it. Let me go in the sandbox and just start, shooting heads.
Well, I mean, it's also the unexpected. I guess he's so used to it, but it is a map that's actually starting to become fairly popular with some of the teams. We've seen it more and more. We saw it a lot at Katowice, be that through the veto system or not. But we actually saw quite a lot of entertaining matches on this map now.
No, it's been developing into a map that, now that we've had the time, and that's always been the issue, right?
Yeah.
Now that we've had the time to see teams start to really be able to put some time into it, develop some strategies, get comfortable with the angles, the rotations, the timings, all these things that just come with time. Well, you just have to have time to prac.
I guess it's also down to tournaments. Sometimes, it's an easy map to veto out in some tournaments.
In some tournament formats.
Some tournament formats you can't. When you get to that major, you are very limited on, and you're going to get that random factor that comes into you. Love it or hate it, it forces teams to actually practice these maps, and maybe that's just what's caused this sudden upsurge in Cobblestone.
Well, yes, exactly. They have to practice those maps because of the majors, and only because of the majors. Because otherwise, if it was like a ban, pick, ban format or something along those lines, then you could actually just get rid of this map if you needed to. But right. Cobblestone, I think the big changes and that's probably why Get Right all of a sudden, or Olafmeister, et cetera, are saying, okay, that's actually, this map is developing into something we can play on, or the changes, to the B site. And the fact that, they've changed that wall, they've added that wall in that makes that long alley to get out onto, the plateau, essentially to get out towards the site. They've changed up the long lines they used to have through the doorways by adding in these wooden doors. And I've always thought that was like the biggest troll by Valve. It's like, oh, you want wooden doors back? Here, we'll give it to you on Cobble.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's a wooden door.
That's
really useful.
I always thought, that's the thing, Valve, they're just so good at, doing an April Fool's with an update. And it's just so out there that everybody's like, this gotta be a joke. And nope, that's how good Valve are. They're one step ahead of you the entire way. So they've given us wooden doors back, but that also just made some adjustments as far as the opping used to be, because you could hold these extremely long lines with the op and just lock down the site from connector, and it was really difficult to crack through as T. Now all of a sudden there's more aggressive angles that you have to take as CT that can get punished, and we've seen the development there. So it's a really fun map now, I think. It's much more entertaining now that CT and T seems a little bit more balanced.
We'll see how it works out for them. We can see the knife round underway. If you've just joined us, Dignitas are one map down to NaVi. Another demonstration from NaVi on Mirage, no doubt about it. But this time we're on to Dignitas' home soil, a map that they beat NaVi on just yesterday. And more importantly, they beat NaVi in a best-of-3 series, also with Inferno being the third map once again. So we'll see if that plays into action. Of course, it's still a long way to go in this one. 30 rounds ready and waiting to go. Dignitas came out on top in the knife, and they will choose the CT side. So let's see how it works out. Pistols underway.
Yeah, and the key when they're picking up the knife round, now, of course, it's the next round that's the most important, obviously the pistol, but the fact that they get that strong start on the CT side, which is still the favored side, a little bit less so now, but still the favored side, so they should be able to just lock down this map now and get that strong start versus NaVi. Start building some of that confidence back that they didn't entirely lose on Mirage, but that definitely took a hit. Nice peek there by MSL, actually. He gets a lot of information by spotting out 3 guys there, so now he knows to fall back, try and set up a crossfire with his mate who's holding from connector.
Yeah, NaVi going all armor, no Tech 9s this time around, just that one decoy in there. Nico sacrificing the armor for the grenade and kit, so they are a little worried that NaVi may actually get in and get their plant down. You can see them just working the angles. 3 members stacked over on A. Guardian, the man that may well breach and push through. The rest of NaVi are coming around in support, so it's going to be an A-side push. And actually, oh no! Look at Dignitas, they've rotated away from it. They've got just one man, MSL, all alone on A-side right now. It is, I'm just going to check who it is. Nico that's nearby, he's at window. He's coming round, but MSL already knows. He's backing up, he's keeping himself away. He's going to try and delay as much as possible, buying time for Dignitas to get back in.
Yeah, and Pimp, they just get completely flanked because NaVi send a small contingency into connector to catch that rotation. AC, however, does deliver 2 frags, but he loses out, and Cbble gets caught by Edward. Couldn't have gone better for NaVi, slowing down the pace, and that then sets the doubt in for Dignitas because, of course, MSL got that early peak. He saw the 3 guys coming up towards mid, and he's thinking, okay, maybe, apply the pressure here, but when it doesn't come, he starts to think maybe they shifted over to B. He starts shifting his resources that way, and NaVi hit the perfect timing to take advantage of that.
And it was such a strange rotation because there wasn't really a great deal out. I mean, the decoy was still in the hands of Edward, it was. He didn't actually throw it out. He just drew a little bit of attention there. And well, it worked wonders. And that's the cat and mouse games that we see from these in-game leaders. Edward all alone this time with that MAC-10 going to come around the side. Run and gun. Bit of pre-fire there. But actually there was 2 people there. They're going to try and chase him down. Well, he's going against Edward. Just managed to mow down MSL. Gets himself a reload in time. But while this is all happening, 4 members of NaVi, they're stacked to B site. They're going out.
This is a pretty interesting position here, however. Pimp is going to be able to hold that long line, but Cbble currently crouched behind the boxes. Bit of that Olafmeister spot. There's the flash. It's not effective, though. And they are going to be able to clean him up. Pimp does stop Flamey from coming out through the drop-down room, but he's going to get just split up here. Zeus is going to catch him at range, and it's just down to Nico now, who was on a bit of a mission, having pushed in the back lines, and he does get a surprise headshot on Edward, who's carrying the bomb. That's not going to be good enough. Zeus is there to lock things down, and again, Zeus off to a really strong start here. This is actually quite scary. He's at 5 frags in 2 rounds. Is it going to be more of what we saw in Mirage from him?
It's not quite an Olafmeister 12 in 3, but it's not a bad start nonetheless. AK's coming out for NaVi. Double MAC-10 for Flamey and Edward continuing. They're going to keep on pushing. Dignitas know they're up against it, so they're going full eco. They're going to stack out B, and that's the right place to be.
And they're just going to drop right in here. No fear at all. Flamey, you got to look behind you, mate. Edward, he does get revenge on MSL, but then just gets completely overwhelmed point blank by AC. And Cbble is there as well, who's going to eat a big nade, and AC as well, just getting double up. But Nico at range takes out Guardian. What is this brawl that we're seeing? NaVi getting way ahead of themselves.
It's a 2-on-1. Zeus, the only man standing, and this should not have happened. Dignitas were just on USPs. They had nothing. They had a single grenade in their possession. And Cbble has managed to get that MAC-10. Zeus is going to look. Peek towards the rock just at the right moment. Didn't quite find him. Nico does go down, trying to hide his position, but Cbble, the patience on this man, Zeus. Heavy footsteps, trying to draw his attention, but Cbble is not peeking. He knows he's got to go for the plant. Tries to draw it, tries to fake it. Tries to draw his attention. Zeus still looking, still peeking. 40 seconds to play. Goes for the draw, does manage to make it count. And Zeus, well, you just mentioned how big he's going, gets himself a very important 2 frags for NaVi.
Incredible, and yeah, they asked for the HP there. They have to know how much did Zeus have left. And it was down to 12. He got headshot, and I think the headshot came in, but it got clipped on a piece of stone. He just got the edge with the bullet, and that saved Zeus's life. So way too close a call there. NaVi getting way ahead of themselves. themselves as well. I think that was just too much confidence. They let up on the caution, and you see what happens, because up close, even a USP will mess you up. If they have the chance to get a double headshot on you, you're going to die. So NaVi need to slow things down a little bit and make sure that they keep control of the situation, because if they give the Danes enough room to work with, the Danes will shut them out of Cobblestone.
Well, the spotted Nico, that was in mid. Zeus is the only man that's going to be there. The rest of the team have managed to rotate, so this is another good read for Dignitas. Expecting NaVi to drop down in B. Seized is the man that's trying it. Pimp is just around the corner. We can see him there. Are they going to re-rotate? I've got a feeling they might back away. I don't think they fancy this one. NaVi, though, are pushing forward with Guardian, but still 3 members of Dignitas on site. Oh, Pimp is cautious. He's not sure whether he needs to go back to A.
And now we have NaVi actually getting some real estate here. Flamey, he's going to be right on the edge. They can set up with some nades if he needs it. Guardian has now got a straight line onto that site. Kjerby crouched at the back by Henhouse. There's the smoke to go down and block off Flamey. And Kjerby just steps out and catches Guardian looking the wrong way there. Just unscoped, re-scoped, wrong timing at least. And Kjerby now wraps up a second kill. Takes out Zeus, the heavy hitter.
And that bomb is loose. AZ just gunning them down, and NaVi now walking straight into the rifles. Flamey tries to come out through the smoke. And Dignitas, well, they pick them off and get themselves what was really a very easy first round for them. And they did, more importantly. MSL read that situation very well, got his team in the right position. It was, I think it was Nico that got the early peak, actually, that managed to spot the 2 members out in mid. And as soon as nobody was pushing up A long, they were like, it's got to be B, guys.
Yeah, there was also, I think, a flash nade that came in, and as soon as that happened, they were just like, well, because I was actually wondering, Nico and MSL, they had set up in A apartments. That's as far away from B side as you can get. Really risky. So the quick rotation pays off, but more importantly, the 2 young guns, Kjerby and AC both, they just hit shots. Those are not easy shots to hit as well. So very well done there by both of those players. Kjerby and Pimp getting pinned down, however, Pimp rather in Henhouse, taking quite a bit of damage, but Nico has taken out Zeus in the meantime.
Edward eating a grenade from AZ there. Didn't quite tag him down heavily. Interesting, we're talking about Pimp hiding in that back shed. We were mentioning it yesterday, just how it offers literally no protection hiding back there. It's simply eye line more than anything that can easily be shot through. But that's where he's standing. Nico does get taken down. That was the AWP battle from Guardian. I believe that was over on A long. Well, that's happening. NaVi still yet to move, but we can see that bomb. It's still now finally moving in towards B site. They're going to push in. AZ's getting tagged up. He gets taken down. Pimp is also dropped. B site is in the hands of NaVi.
Yeah, they just managed to sneak on through, and then Seized has the AWP to hold the long line through to connector, and MSL is now left all by his lonesome. His team has evaporated around him, and that's all from NaVi, just effectively splitting up into 2-man teams and just lurking, waiting for their opportunity, for somebody to get impatient on Dignitas' side, to rotate out and get caught out in the open. So not a lot that can happen from there, apart from the fact that just NaVi, they got the kills that they needed. They just sat. It was that tag team, Edward and Seized. Edward had the AWP, but Seized dropped close and managed to put that Tech 9 to use. And from there on out, they just never let up the pressure.
I mean, effectively, it was a similar round to the last one, but this time Dignitas just didn't land those shots. They were, that's what we were just saying, how good of a shot they were. This time, they weren't on point, and NaVi with the members in the right place. The numbers, more impressively, did get in there. 4-1, good start for NaVi here on the T side. And more importantly, it puts Dignitas in a problem because MSL's the only man that's going to have a rifle in this round. Everybody else, P250s and the USB for Kjerby.
Yeah, they should just need one. Basically, they'll need 1 round of eco out of this. They have the rifle to play off of MSL. They can put him in the good position to get something done with it. And he's actually going to be helping out on drop-down room, holding into connector. So they're looking to, yeah, I love this, the counter boost. Peekaboo! But he doesn't get anything out of it. Just tags them up somewhat.
And they're going to back away. They're not falling for it. Oh, Seized is actually coming again. He's going to get a second chance of asking peaks. This time Seized was ready. Knew it was coming. Fool me once, don't fool me twice. Zeus actually getting taken very low by Nico there. Good pistol work from him. Didn't get the frag though. That's the more important thing. Flamey is not going to drop down into the fire. AZ will get himself a kill. Now Dignitas could start something.
Very well done there by AC. And he's very low on HP as well. So I was a bit surprised for him to have the M4. Look at Zeus. Nico and Zeus are practically side by side at this point. Who's going to figure it out? He sees the shadow. Nico.
Oh, he's tagged so low.
That's not good. He misses out on the opportunity. His teammates, however, going to peek it, but Kjerby can't land the shot. Zeus is going to tag him up first with that headshot, and now it's advantage NaVi. They're going to be able to just go pile driving onto this site.
They've been playing past the parcel with that M4. That was it was in the hands of AZ a moment ago, and quickly passed off to Kjerby. Nico's still in the corner. They're checking the angles. They knew that somebody was still around there. Pimp, the last man, tries to draw their attention. Zeus was low. Didn't quite get the tag on him though. Dignitas will want to get the hands off something, but Edward does take him down with a pistol, and that will be 5-1. This is a good start for NaVi here on Cobblestone. They're already one map up, and they're starting to put pressure on Dignitas.
No, they certainly are. But like I said, you know, just a single round of eco from Team Dignitas. They aren't going to let NaVi get too far ahead. The one problem here is that they're low on nades, but they are able to get 5 rifles to work with. So not too much skimping happening here for the Danes. Whereas NaVi, they just have everything. In fact, they go for a double AWP play. Edward, once again, going for the scoped rifle. He was effective with it on Mirage, so we'll see how he's able to make it work here on Cobblestone. But this is a very valid play, actually, because there are so many just long corridors where you can hold these angles and wait for a CT player to get impatient. If you have the AWP, you can punish him.
Cbble is completely smoked off right now, but he's going to try and get himself snuck up in that position. That grenade's actually going to be right on top of him. Knocks him to 52 health, still flashed up. And now 5 members of NaVi in position to push through onto B side. Smokes have cleared. Edward will be the lead man to come
They heard
through.
that drop. They heard Flamey drop down into lower. So AC immediately altering his position here to try and close that angle. Edward will take out Kjorby, who got pinned down at the back, but there you go, AC. First shot goes through. He gets flanked out, though, and Zeus hits a sick headshot to take him out fast. Flamey will come in as well. Flamey with a double kill, in fact, just completely catching out the men rotating in, and it's Nico who gets caught and dropped. Ooh. Nothing going Dignitas' way. Despite having the info at least there, AC didn't get caught off guard by the first man through. It just wasn't good enough.
And that's going to put them in a problem.
This is a serious problem.
Now they're down to CZs. Are we going to get a timeout from them? No, they're not going to call a timeout, but a shake of the head from Cbble there. They know that this is slipping away from them, and very quickly. Likely to go 7-1 unless they pull off something spectacular. They haven't stacked the sites. They're just sticking the positions. The thing is, NaVi have been stacking out B and it's been working for them. Now, they're changing position. They're going into A, and Zeus, once again, gets himself the opening frag.
And Flamey just sprays blind and manages to pick up Nico with a random headshot. AC is fairly low as well. Pimp already rotated over to try and bolster the defense. Well, he is the defense on this A site. And nice shot there onto Flamey. Double tap and gets it, but Guardian is there to instantly strike back. No more heroics from Pimp, and it's just going to be Kjorby and AZ left, although C's just lurking in the perfect spot to catch that flank. I mean, not a lot to be said in this round apart from the fact that it was an eco round coming out from Dignitas. So they did the best they could with pistols. They nearly took out Zeus. If they could have got 2 kills, this was actually this would have been a pretty good round for Dignitas. They really need to get something else done here. If AC can find some kind of angle to work, but Edward is already scoped and waiting.
Yeah, if he peeks around that corner, maybe he can get the right timing. Who knows? Zeus was low, but he's already backed away. I think AZ is just going to bide his time, hope somebody comes his direction, but we already saw Edward scoped up towards him. And it will be 7-1 to NaVi, and that's a big lead already on the T side. Already successful T side, no matter what happens from now on in, but more importantly, NaVi, they don't look like they're going to stop anytime soon. Let's see, Dignitas full bite, can they stop it? Nico going glass cannon. Yeah, they're just trying everything.
And that's the main issue here. You know, it's getting pointed out. I mean, the money right now is out of control for NaVi, so it's not going to get any easier. Guardian not interested in helping him either. He's already picked off Nico, who is aggressively peeking in mid. So there's the opening here for NaVi. The quick rotation comes in from Pimp, so he's going to be here to help MSL. But NaVi aren't wasting any time now. Clearing out mid, they're going to start looking into A apartments. They're going to start trying to set up that split scenario where they're going to be able to cave in on the site.
Glass cannon or not, it doesn't work. Doesn't matter when an AWP hits you. Dignitas have got themselves 2 members over on towards the A site, and that is where NaVi are pushing through now. Sees makes his way up to the doors. Pimp covered off at the side, but doesn't realize they're already at the right to him. Now they will. Sees makes his presence known, rattling off the AK shots. Pimp trying to catch Guardian as he pushes on through. Still nobody checked his position here. He's as of yet unseen, but Guardian stepping through slowly. Oh, Pimp looked away just at the wrong moment. Guardian saw him. Oh, when the look's against you, that's how it works out. And Dignitas are getting picked apart here. There's still 2 members left. Kjorby, the last man, he'll get taken down. Edward gets himself another. And this partnership, Guardian and Edward picking up the kills now, and really across the board for NaVi. They're just playing great.
But that was also just...
They're playing as a team, more importantly. They're completely catching Dignitas out. They're covering all the angles.
That's the thing. They're moving together as a unit. They had 3 guys, bit of a strike force, moving up mid like that. And the whole objective of that is we lose one, but we get the refrag, right? We're going to be able to do it. The thing is that AC had some individual play there, and he went against that. He took 2 guys out and nearly took out the 3rd. That's just all down to sick rifle work from him. That shouldn't happen. So there was a bit of a weakness in NaVi's play. Also in how slowly NaVi pushed up. They still had 3 guys on that site, and they still weren't able to hold. So AZ tried to turn it around for his team, but NaVi, they were able to just get the right timing down, especially with Guardian peeking on Pimp.
Well, Zeus caught a glimpse of one around the corner. MSL is still there, so that's why he's approaching this one ever so cautiously. Meanwhile, 3 members have already flashed across. Nice, flashes him out. Zeus immediately, though, backs away. And MSL's position very much given away. But look at this, NaVi got themselves in position. They're going to be dropping straight into AZ. Guardian's about to make his peek across. And Zeus is still continuing his own little personal battle over on A.
Zeus is having a ball over there. Nico, however, Nico is having a party, dude. He's got 2 kills. Edward and C is not able to get anything done there. Down to Guardian. Insane shot off the Kirby. That is so disgusting. And now, well, he's going to be able to hold this long line. Great flash, though, to force him back to close that angle, and he will get wallbang through. MSL takes out Zeus, and now Dignitas, they're waking up. Flamey not able to get anything done in a 1v4 situation, and Dignitas have got their 2nd round on the board.
What they need is exactly what you saw there, is that double kill to open things up. They need just that little bit of luck, that little bit of skill, somebody on the team to step up and take it to NaVi, and they're going to have to do it round after round right now. They've got themselves another AWP, though, for Nico. Nico, as of yet, not been too successful, though, with that AWP. Guardian has been beating him to the punch, and this time NaVi, they're playing it a little quicker and a little faster. They're going to be straight towards the B side.
Splitting all over the place.
Yeah, they're splitting up.
But that bomb is making its way back.
Edwards threw smoke on B already.
Yeah, this is insane. But they seem to realize it, because look at AC, or Kirby's position, rather, boosting up behind Tree here. It's a really sick spot. Asilian likes to use it as well. And he can hold this straight line. We'll see if Edward predicts this position. That's going to be the thing, because they haven't used it yet. So this is the element of surprise that Dignitas are counting on right now.
Oh, MSL flashed out there. Zeus, nicely done this time on the doors. It's a battle he just had a moment ago. And Nico, once again, can't get anything with that AWP. He's just getting run down, whatever position he tries to play. And NaVi all over the A side. Pimp's going to get himself one. That's the bomb carrier, more importantly. If he can get a second, it's not going to be enough. And Seized and Flame clean up. And well, NaVi 9-2 up are looking to have just an amazing T-side right now. This is working so well for them. And maybe, just maybe, this is why they were looking at each other a little bit confidently in that map veto process.
Yeah, I think Zeus at the end there, when he got the vetoes off, he was looking pretty pleased. And just the money tells the story, though. NaVi have no pressure on them. They have so much money that they can just afford to buy and rebuy. I mean, now it's dropped a little bit lower after this buy, but there's so little for Dignitas to do. They can't even get their feet back under them, because every time they pick up a round or they inflict some serious damage to NaVi, NaVi just come in and clock them and keep them down. So it's just a very difficult position for Dignitas. They have to just land shots, but now their confidence is in tatters.
NaVi stepping up. Can they continue their run? Team Dignitas, as of yet, seem a little lackluster, and to be completely brutal, they've only picked up 6 rounds in total against NaVi in this entire matchup. Zeus, once again, opens his account on Nico, who has really not had too much joy. MSL with the Deagle, though. Can he get back in and try and rescue a rifle? AZ realizes they're pushing in towards A side, but it's Zeus that's got himself around there, and Zeus is just not being stopped right now. Oh, look at that. He's tracking the movement. He knows they're going to try and get around the backside. Pimp, the last man, as he gets not picked off just yet. He will get one down, but 2 pistols in the Nico, 2 kills in the Nico. I guess is about as happy as Dignitas can be right now in this dire situation that they found themselves in.
It's always going to tickle me that Pimp, he's using the Franklin P250 skin. It's perfect. All right, well, 1v3, Pimp is pinned. There isn't much he can do. Now we have to start talking options. What exactly can Team Dignitas do now to create some space for themselves in the next round when they actually have some money to buy? Because they've lost, well, that's the problem, is that they got their round bonus reset as well, so they aren't even going to have that much money in the next round.
Will he catch Zeus? No, he's not going to catch Flamey either. Oh, Zeus actually ended up with the kill. So
Nico could go Mag 10 if you wanted to, or CZ75 armor. What does he decide to go for here? Nico's actually going, oh wow, he's going for Moss, Kevlar, okay. I mean, do they go for some kind of push, apartments, or do they try and take control of drop? I mean, go for that boost that MSL used. It just seems like since that round that NaVi actually let their guard down and they got punished for it, they haven't really given an opening to Team Dignitas. They really have just played passively and covered all the bases.
It's been I'd love to have been able to watch the first game, because it seems to me that they've had an adjustment to play. Because when I watched NaVi last time against Fnatic at Katowice, they were very much all about going long A. That's where they were pushing. That's where they were working. I don't think they've gone that route once, maybe once at max. Guardian's been looking for the peak, but over that, it's really been all about Edward and Flamey. They've been getting that B side completely carved wide open.
And Guardian with the support. But you know, as I say that, Edward will open up and take out Pimp. So that AWP already coming to good use there.
I mean, at the moment, AZ is in a good position to try and catch Seized out here. He knows the drop. He nearly whiffed the shot. Doesn't get the second time of asking. Zeus has come behind him though. Didn't hear the drop. Was caught in a reload. And already they're down to 2 members. 4 on 2, NaVi. Can they make it 11-3? Just an amazing T side here on Cobblestone. MSL gets 1. Trying to carry his team through anything. Not to victory, that's for sure, because they're just trying to keep them in it right now.
Guardian's too fast as well. You can see MSL, he knew where he was. He's pre-aiming that spot. He's like, okay, I'm going to crouch and pull the trigger. And Guardian's like, nope, not having any of that, but that is not happening. And Nico, man, what he gets to save is just even worse. It's like he gets to save off a Moss. Like, okay, you know, it's like there's 2 ops on the map, AKs, M4s, you know, something that's a little bit better than that. No, he literally has to save off a Moss right now. And he may not even manage that. Can Flamey find him? Flamey actually expecting him to be up in T-Sniper, it looked like. There we have it. Team Dignitas just continue to suffer damage, I mean, to absorb the blows. Full nades bought up on AZ and Pimp. Okay, there we go. So the Pimp FAMAS, right. Okay, so they're actually able to get a pretty reasonable buy, all things considered. Double Deagle as well. That'll be fun. Bring NaVi some memories.
Well, MSL gone for the Mag 7. We saw Flusher using that one before, along with, I think it was Crims actually, that they were double stacking last time, but that was against NaVi, of course. But yet again, nobody really looking towards going long A. They're going to go underpass instead. They'll go straight through. Pimp is in position, ready and waiting, but nobody's triggering the trap. Instead, they're going to come around. MSL will find 1. Will get down 1. That's Flamey dropped. And the Mag 7 actually gets himself the kill there. It is only Edward, I think it is, that's over on a B site. Everybody else looking to come out, looking to push out. They know that MSL's ready and waiting, and they've already thrown that bomb away. He's taken up well, though.
And they're not going to expect Pimp to be around this corner. They've only seen MSL up here. Now they can walk up. Zeus, does he check that angle? There you go. Surprise, surprise. There's a guy with a FAMAS. But then it's the Shotty that gets the kill. I mean, I wish the money mattered more in this situation right now, because 2 shotgun kills actually is a lot of bank to work with. Edward gets spotted out on Catwalk, and he's going to hit a sick flick. Really nicely done there. Kyoto not able to get anything done with that Deagle.
I feel that this map, certainly the CT side, doesn't play into Kirby's favor. He likes to get around the back, and that was a good Deagle from AZ. That's going to get himself the AWP as well. If they can get hold of it, that is just a complete mismatch for Dignitas, but it worked out. Ironically, it's the first time they actually pushed up long A, although they didn't go through long A, they came up the stairs, but that's the first time they've actually walked into Dignitas properly defending the A site.
That can also be NaVi now, just kind of like letting go a little bit on the tension, knowing that they've practically got this map in the bag at this point with 11 rounds on T side. So there's the opportunity for Dignitas to put up a bit of a fight, but that's the beauty of CS as well. It's never over. Dignitas, if they can get 4 rounds, pick up the pistol, they can do the same.
Yeah, absolutely. Pimp in position. MSL's already been taken out of the defensive role. Pimp, though, got himself adjusted once again. He's going to hope that they can come across there. Nico's covering off the angle if they were to get past him. Oh, he's going to get 1. That's the bomb carrier. Now the rotation could come out. Oh, he tried to drop down. He did the right play, but Flamey read him. Nico, he just looked away at the wrong moment. That is really the story of the game for Nico. He has not been able to get anything going on that AWP.
Not at all. Not at all. Just every single time he's caught out of position, just caught wide, seized with the flank. He's actually going to be able to just drop AC. No, he will not, but he drops him dangerously low on HP. Everybody low on HP, in fact, but it's a 1-on-3. And the final shot, total overkill from the AWP with Guardian. and that is going to be 12 rounds. 12 rounds for Dignitas, or for Dignitas, for NaVi. Just fantastic work coming in from NaVi. More of the same, basically, from Mirage. They're completely outclassing Dignitas right now.
Yeah, outstanding stuff there. It was, what, 15 kills for AZ, though. Matching the top fragger for NaVi, but unfortunately the entire NaVi team is all posting those kills, whereas, well, we can see NiKo has been tortured with that AWP. He's not been able to really get anything going.
Well, that's the issue. Is four players are still, sub 10 frags right now on Team Dignitas, and that's after a CT half. Like, a lot of those rounds, they seemed close, but they weren't really. Now it's Dignitas just going for the full out, all-out YOLO, and Guardian gets 2 headshots as they try and come through the doorway. Pimp does return on him, but then sees lurking up in A apartments, taking this battle right now, slowing him up. And this is still going to be the battle out, and Seized actually wins it.
Yeah, Seized coming out on top. Zeus will get the bomb planter, and this very much is looking to go the way of NaVi. Pimp, the last man. 2-on-1. Can he pull something magnificent off here? No. Seized is going to stop him dead in his tracks. And well, with now the CT side on their backs and SMGs in their pockets, 13-3 is looking like a bit of an impossible task for Team Dignitas.
Yeah, very well done there by Guardian. We saw the replay. That was just flawless from him, getting 2-for-1 trade. That's all he needs to do. Even a 1-for-1 at that point, just the info that he gives to his team. So really well done there by Guardian to start things off for NaVi and the pistol. And now Dignitas, they go for the buy. They don't waste any time at all. Kevlar, Tech9s, just doing what they can. They have some nades to work with here, but they aren't wasting any time. Look at this. They're already right dancing on the edge of that smoke, and they're going to be setting up for a push.
Pimp wants to get the drop down here. There's the smoke covering off the window. They're going to go in there. Kirby's with him. It's Kirby that lands the first frag. Pimp tries to get around the back. Almost tagged up Kirby in the back there. Catches him with a head there. Zeus backs away into the smoke. They have managed to get themselves onto site. Oh, he's got a grenade in his hand. That's not going to work out. Tried to flick the pistol. Didn't work out for him. Pimp somehow, some way manages to get the kill on Zeus, but Guardian comes in. Clean up duty time. He gets himself 1, gets himself 2. Sees, picks up the other. Pimp, the grenade's coming in. Oh my God, NaVi get themselves another round. Nothing is working out for Dignitas.
Man, when they had it all as well. I mean, Zeus ran out of bullets with his UMP. That should have been a free kill. So Pimp, he got a second shot at life there. But then to end on a nade, they knew exactly where he was. Guardian, this was a very key kill, holding out AC, who had a lot of HP on long like that. The double kill, in fact, for Guardian, really just making it happen. No, just fantastic work there. NaVi able to just reclaim their site, get the defuse, keep everything going. Dignitas, they know that they've got their backs to the wall. They have to go for a force buy here. It's not going to be wasted. 3 rifles, SMG, and a Tech-9. That's what they have to work with. I'm wondering if it's going to be more of the same. They have slowed it down somewhat, and Zeus gets dropped down to half HP, so good exchange here favoring Dignitas. But as I say that, Guardian finds the headshot on NiKo. And NiKo just not having any impact at all for Dignitas. Like, throughout this entire map, it's really rough.
Oh, Kirby tagged up heavily and finished off by Seized. Damage done. 2 men down. Zeus, oh, look at that. Oh, well. Wasn't expecting MSL to come out on top in that duel, that's for sure. Edward, well, he's not going to let one through. He will pop down Pimp with that Mag 7. Gets himself a second. Will he make it a third as he flashed up? Flamey's there to cover him off. And now we're on match point for NaVi. Envy will be facing them in the semi-finals should they win this next round.
Now, this is utter domination outright, and MSL has got to be wondering, what can you do? Zeus has not stopped talking the entire time, but MSL, he's really, it seems like he's just lost. Not a whole lot that you can do if your teammates aren't hitting shots, if they keep getting caught out of position, if, nothing's going your way. Lady Luck clearly against him, and yeah, the Molotov nade combo. Look at the massive damage. Insane amount of damage dealt. Guardian and Seized just shredding them, and MSL, the last man alive here, he's going to get rushed down. Seized will pick up 2 frags, Guardian 3, and NaVi with a very quick 2-0 win over Team Dignitas.
Dignitas, unfortunately, only got themselves 7 rounds in the entire series. Very dominant performance from NaVi.
Just incredible.
Are they hitting the form at the right moment? They were looking good at start ladder, but it wasn't quite to be, and that was their own backyard, so we weren't sure how they were going to turn up here, and especially after their first loss to Dignitas, but they very much got revenge in style. But now they have the unenviable task of facing Envy later on in the day. That will be the second semi-final of the day. And it's definitely going to be a tough one because that's the real test of strength, because so far Envy have been rolling their way through this tournament.
Envy look like the team to beat by a fairly large margin. They're playing at a completely different level. Much like what we just saw, NaVi do to Dignitas, it's very likely that Envy will do the same to NaVi.
It's entirely possible.
Unless we can see, this kind of composure that we're seeing at NaVi in a match versus Dignitas, because everything seemed to go Navi's way this time around. The calls, Zeus made every right call. Everybody was hitting the shots that they needed to. Seized was leading the frags there when he wasn't really present on Mirage. Instead, it was Zeus, actually, who was leading by example on Mirage. I mean, everybody seemed to step up and shine, right? That's how you have to do it. It's kind of like Kerrigan, right? First man onto the site. There you go. He just leads his team
stuff.
and does, there you go. Zeus was doing the same thing. So right now, it just looks like NaVi are in the best shape possible. TSM, or the other team, you want to say, there's a real possibility of them standing up to Envy, but they still got the stand-in. They still got Cadian, and so they're not at 100%. Despite Cadian, really playing out of his mind on the first day, who is going to be able to take it to Envy? That's a big question. And I know, everybody's saying, they're tweeting at me right now, Fnatic, but Fnatic aren't at the tournament, guys. I wish, but they're not here. So, that's going to have to wait.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Well, maybe next time. Who knows? Anyway, we're going to get over to the stage, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be Guardian standing by with Sean Charles.
Thank you so much, Lee. Joined by Guardian. Sir, how was that for you?
I didn't even wait this kind of stuff. That we gave them 7 rounds in 2 maps. So yeah, it's something that I'm surprised of. So yeah, it feels good.
Yeah, it must feel pretty nice. I mean, you won confidently. I mean, does that play into the plan? Does that play into the vibe that you have going on the previous match today against Virtus?
Not really. I mean, we expected that they will be even stronger than yesterday, but well, we didn't give them any chance to play today. So, yeah.
And so, for you, looking back at that match, what do you think works well for you? What can you take away that, hey, that's what we executed on and we accomplished?
I wouldn't say it was about rounds or something, but we started to play as team, and we executed the rounds as team, not by one by one. So that's the difference from yesterday.
Now, day's done for today. Day 2 in the bag. Close the book. What's next? What do you do tonight? What's in preparation for Envious that's waiting for you tomorrow?
Maybe we'll watch some demos, and of course we'll relax and we'll talk about the game and tomorrow, what we'll do and how to win tomorrow, because we lost last 5 LAN events to Envy, so time to revenge.
Time to revenge. Good words to end on. Thank you so much, sir, and congratulations, guys, join the team. Of course, I'd like to hear what you have to say on this machine.
Wow, a couple of talking points straight off the bat there from Guardian. Lost the last 5 events against Envy, so I'd like to change that. Immediately, we have a bit of a rivalry growing, but also he was saying that he was not expecting that. You, however, Jonathan, were expecting that. That was kind of how you called it, suggesting that with Dignitas side beating them last time, NaVi had nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a mentality problem. I think, as Guardian said, they really started playing as a team. Instead of doing these stupid individual decisions, just trying in a weird confidence thing where if you think you're better than someone, you will do something that's stupid individually against them just because you think it will work because you're so much better. And I guess they stopped doing that and just started playing as a team again, and it just worked out. They just dominated that game.
Yeah, Alvo, you agree?
Yeah, and Dignitas kind of went the other way around. They went from playing as a team, as we saw. I remember we were so impressed by their T-side on Inferno versus NaVi yesterday, and listening to them play now, that was just a hot mess, really. It was kind of surprising because you ended up in situations where one guy would take a peek, especially towards the A-bomb site with Nico and MSL. It seemed like they had no idea what each other were doing. MSL could be saying, I'm going to peek now, just to give him the information and expecting something to happen from it. Maybe he'll rotate in from A halls and actually help him out, but all of a sudden he's just left alone, and the next thing you hear is something that you can't say on stream, but that's just kind of how the entire game went, and you saw so little adaptation from coming in from Dignitas. They basically played the exact same positions and did the exact same things over and over and over again, and that's where the big advantage came in from NaVi. They actually changed up things. They started playing as a team. Dignitas, on the other hand, didn't change anything at all. So Cavi getting picked off on B from the same position 4 times in a row when NaVi went towards B, and you saw, well, the closest thing you could actually get to seeing some type of teamwork between Dignitas was the round when Nico picks up 2 frags in drop zone because of AZ's flashing him in. Like, that was the closest thing you could get. Other than that, it was just complete individual plays whenever they'd actually get anything done, and that's not going to cut it versus a team like NaVi when they're playing as a team.
I mean, that's a compliment that's often paid to Dignitas, is saying they're a group of strong individuals. Like, you look at the names, you're like, wow, you know, MSL, AZ, and Cbble, of course, or Cbble, as I've been told. Cbble. Nice, thanks very much. Confirming my Scandinavian pronunciation. Either way, though, yeah, strong individuals, but you're saying that right now they were not as a unit. Like, comparing to NaVi, who, let's be honest, are one of those teams who just seem to have everything under wraps. Even with a new addition to their lineup, they are functioning very well as a team, and that's actually confirmed their place then. Further on into the tournament, they're going to be happy to have that victory under their belts, and I think it's more so commiserations to Dignitas, but it's also, I think that's the right step in this tournament for NaVi. That's probably what we were hoping to see from them in this tournament. They are again a team who you can sometimes see results on paper and be a little surprised by. So I think for us now is we just have a little breakdown of what to expect from NaVi coming forward into this tournament now that they've kind of secured a spot.
I mean, the weird thing about NaVi is they always make it to playoffs. Like, no matter what tournament they play, they always make it there. But after that, they kind of have a tendency of going quiet. Like, they'll always make like 2 semifinals, even in major. But it's like they're quietly getting there. Like, there's not any, like, when they face up against like Virtus Pro or an NIP or you know, Envy at the semifinals, always like they just go down 2-0. It's like,
yeah, and even if they go versus Envy last time they played in the quarterfinals at Katowice, they went down 2-1, but it was still never any real doubt who was going to win it. It was like, NaVi managed to pick up a map. That's great for them. Now we can just get on with it, and Envy can close this out. That was really the kind of feeling you sat left with, and it's weird how that works, because NaVi on paper and sometimes the games they show are really, really impressive, and you think to yourself, how can this team not be one of the guys who actually push for a finals or make it semifinals or make Envy go the complete limit? But instead it's that one showing per tournament where you really get your hopes up and then they let you down as the tournament comes along.
To be fair, we kind of have like, it's a new NaVi, you know, we have Flamey, we actually have Starex being the coach behind him, and I'm interested to see how much of an effect that will actually have, because maybe they're kind of choking in these big games because they're not performing previously because they've not performed to the level, you know, you can expect from NaVi. They always put up great performances against top teams in the past, and like in group stages and maybe quarterfinals, but they never really get to that final step unless it's like SLTV, I guess.
Are they the original TSM? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, maybe.
I guess the CIS version of TSM.
Okay.
In many ways.
Dubbed them the CIS TSM. That's just a lot of letters to most people. But for those of you at home, let's put the brackets on your screen so you can see how today has shaped up so far. More games to come, though, or more game to come. As you can see now, NaVi with that secured spot. It feels like such a longer road that NaVi have had to take for TSM in comparison to TSM. We've basically kicked back, walked around the event a bit, chilled out. I think it looked like they went for a swim at some point, I saw on Twitter. So, you know, these guys have had a lot of time to rejuvenate for tomorrow's games. And that means that we have to basically start turning our attention towards the final game, which will be a real cracker. Titan, a team who have again had not the easiest route with their upset against Envious. We're a game where they really were, like, I mean, they kind of downplayed how passionate they were about it before, but as soon as that loss came in for them, you could tell that really had affected them, and they've come in with a real strong mindset for this one. It's going to be a real test. 3D Max going to be going up against Titan in the very next game. We're going to go to a short break first of all, though, and let us know your predictions at ESLCS, as well as our personal Twitters if you fancy it. Until then, though, we'll see you soon. Hello and welcome back to the ESL Pro League desk for one last game. It's the closing game of day 2 in this 3-day event. It's best of 3, of course, and it's with great pleasure that I introduce 3D Max going head-to-head with Titan to determine who will join the already confirmed 3 teams awaiting the arrival of one last opponent for the semi-finals and finals, which will be played tomorrow, kicking off around... Oh, I just dug myself into a hole. Kicking off around, I'm going to say 10... 1, D-Man has shown me with great sign language. Either way, though, kicking off around 1 tomorrow, so do be sure to stay tuned for that one. But right now, though, we have to introduce my desk. Devilwalk and Vendetta, where do you see this one playing out then? You've got the a team, Titan, we've always described as a team who play to the level of their opponent and then introduce their opponent. It's 3D Max, who have kind of been playing incredible against some teams and sometimes struggling at opponents you wouldn't expect.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know really what to say. It's going to be an interesting match. I kind of felt like 3D Max kind of threw Inferno last time. They had 14-9 up with Titan on eco, and still, RPK just came out huge those rounds, like grabbing that comeback. Eventually went to overtime, and then they eventually just nudged it out. So I'm actually, it's so hard because. I feel like 3D Max has the best chance possible because Kenny S hasn't really been shining through. It's actually been like Maniac and RPK, and sometimes Apex has been there stepping it up. But this is like the best possible chance for an event for a team like 3D Max to actually beat them.
Well, I mean, that's a really good point you've made there. There are still some individuals of Titan that we haven't seen too much of. However, do you think we've seen the best out of 3D Max, or is there more to come?
I think this is going to be the end of the road. Okay. I do think so, and I actually think we're going to see a bit of a reprieve from what we saw yesterday. So I'm thinking towards the lines of a 2-0 for Titan, but not necessarily beating, a complete demolition of the Finnish team, but even though Titan tend to play up towards the level of their opponent, I think they just really want to get back into this and get a semi-final. And even if they play to the level of their opponent, I still think 3D Max is a team they should be able to overcome. That's kind of where I'm at right now, and there can only be such a long time span and so many games where you don't see Kenny go absolutely mental.
Yeah.
And he has been, as you mentioned,
He's kind of struggling with the new patch.
Exactly.
He doesn't take as much peaks. He doesn't move around as much because he's the kind of operator that zooms in and just makes a quick like sidestep shot and then kind of moves into that same sidestep shooting all over again. Eventually, he aces or something. So. He's been struggling. He's been like little off with his flicks, but I'm thinking there's he's just been so
Tiny
close every time, and I'm thinking it's because of the movement. Like he's not as fast with the AWP scope.
Well, it's gonna change something, isn't it? When that movement into your shot changes, you kind of your autopilot has to adjust as well. And I mean, Kenny is, let's be honest, he's half man, half robot at this point. So it'll be interesting to see once he gets those adjustments, those configurations made. We'll see how that plays out for him. First, though, I'm interested to know what Maniac has to say, and Sean's with him on stage.
Thank you so much, Machine. Maniac, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
How has your day been in the lead up to this match?
I'm quite impatient, I must say. Watching all those games, the only thing you want is to step on the scene and plug on your mouse and keyboard and play. So finally now it's time for us to get in shape, so I'm happy.
Now, this game, is a decider, obviously, as today's been an important day. TSM waiting, but first 3D Max. A rematch to say, does that play into your preparation?
Yeah, of course. If you think about how Inferno went yesterday, you clearly see that we have to play our A game 150% if we want to win. So for us, we do not think about TSM, we do not think about final or revenge against NaVi, whatever it is. Now we have an enemy, which is a really good team with a really proper and organized game. So we have to focus on this, and after that we're going to see.
Now, a lot's been made, of course, of performances of all the teams, but you've really been shining in this tournament so much. What does that do for you? Not to take anything away from your team, but you playing so well and on form.
Well, I'm happy to help my team, support my team doing the best result. I've been recently in quite a good shape, better and better. I'm feeling also, psychologically, I'm feeling well, I'm feeling safe. I know what I do, so I just hope it's going to go this way. It's not important for me if I shine to the first match. If now I am playing bad, that's a bad tournament for me. The deciding matches are coming up next, so I have to step up now, not before. So I'm just happy about my previous performances, but the real challenge is now.
The real challenge is now. Very perfect words. Well, I wish you the best of luck. Please join your team and prepare. And of course, if we're very, very kind, if I look in this direction, maybe Natu will come and join me. Sir, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. Good.
Very good. Obviously, as I said, TSM line weight. Does that play at all into your mind?
No.
You've had a strong day so far today. You've played well. Does that play into your mind?
No. But I think we were more going to be looking at what happened last night against Titan or yesterday. We threw away an opportunity. I think we match up pretty well, and they're a team we like playing against because just the style of play they have sort of feels like we do pretty well against. So it's just about, again, same thing as first match. It's about extracting the most out of this team.
Now, obviously, we talked about that as well. There is that rematch in the air. That's been something that you guys are prepared with today, or it's just another opponent?
A bit of both, I think. Nothing super specific, but at the same time, we just destroyed ourselves yesterday with our own mistakes more than anything, and it's going to come down to that, limiting those mistakes.
Limiting mistakes. We wish you the absolute best of luck. Please join your team. Thank you so much, sir.